Hi, Bryce.
Hey, I have a question. What is everyone's opinion, especially your opinion, about Bernie and the debate talking about um, white America not understanding Black America and use the word ghetto and explaining the money and the different things being stopped on the street and things like that. There's a lot of black people on that he said that and saying that he just doesn't get it, et cetera, et cetera. And even if like he don't get it or, well, at least then they was talking about how at least they're talking about the issues. Of course, Republicans are not, except maybe one or two that did. But what is your opinion of that and the criticism about that? Because I believe he shouldn't be getting criticized for that because he's actually saying some real honest stuff. He's breaking a lot of stuff down that's real legitimate. And I don't understand the criticism, and it pisses me off because it's like he does get it, he does understand. Yeah, he's not black, but he understands what's going on at the same time. And I just don't understand how some of the black climate establishment, but even media, whatever, some people that's on TV One can say that. I disagree with them. Like I say that you say that, it's like what are you talking about? It just kind of threw me off.
I know you wanna you wanna jump on that because I'm gonna be
Um,
honest and tell everybody that was such a non-issue to me, and that was much ado about nothing. I think he used ghetto in the perfect context, and I kind of watch some of these arguments. I just can't. It's I just have a sense of amusement. But maybe Noah, you have a different perspective on this, or
well, I agree. I think it has been completely overblown. I think when Joyanne Reed and others jump on the bandwagon, Bakari Sellers, just others jump on the bandwagon, and it's just like, oh my God, see, I think we just go back to the Sunday night debate, for example, and then the later. I think that they know full well what they're doing. They have played this game. Joyanne Reed was an Obama staffer in 2008. She understands exactly how the dynamic of race works um, within a presidential campaign and race. She's talked about it in her book. So they know exactly what they're doing when they're parsing through the exact statements and words that's being used. You know what I'm saying? So when you and I was saying this to Stacey when we talked about it yesterday morning that yesterday morning that when you listen to what he said at the debate, for example, taken with that very first initial response to the question, um, it was muddled. And I really feel like that type of question, and Stacey, I believe Stacey actually had raised this issue, but that type of question actually would have been better for just a straight town hall format where he could kind of take his time and answer. But in that debate format, you know, it's kind of a rush to quickly say an answer, and he kind of tried to muddle and he tried to pivot back. Like he had a good answer to the race thing, but then he tried to pivot back to economics. And I think that we see this with him that sometimes he doesn't catch things necessarily as quickly, and not because he has a processing issue or anything like that, but just because he's not as seasoned and polished when it comes to this type of prime time debating. Hillary Clinton is a lawyer. In law school, and this has been going on for decades. In law school, you're trained. You're the art of communication. That is like one of your tools and stuff. Through moot court and everything else, like exactly what phrases and like things to pull out of there, whatever. So she can say, hot flaming crapola, and it sounds so beautiful when she's talking. You might not care what she's saying, but she sounds so well put together when she's saying it, and it substantively might not mean or say anything. Which is, I actually take more issue with her statement, which part of her response was actually kind of the story that she told at the Brown and Black Forum when she was talking about whether or not she had privilege. Her missionary work basically as a teenager babysitting for migrant farmers. Um, like, so Bernie Bernie tried to really layer on and focus on the issue that even though, yes, you have poverty, you have race, but when you overlay race on poverty, when you overlay race with income, that there's an extra layer of stress, strife, and struggle that is not experienced by white people. So I think if anyone has paid attention to anything this man has said in the last 30 years, right, anything that he's done in the last 50 years, you know full well that he understands that there is a difference. He understands. He's talked about poor white people, particularly in Minnesota, actually, when he came under a lot of flack from the MNOC forum that he participated in Minneapolis. You know, he raised the issue of the fact that you have Appalachian whites and others who have extreme poverty, who have been, you know, abused by the system as well. So he very well understands the difference. It was clear that he misspoke. But, you know, the Clinton machine is in spin mode, and they jumped on it. And unfortunately, you know, he just tried. I just felt like he tried to do too much with that answer. You know what I'm saying? And should have had one or two. He had two examples, and he should have just stuck with those and stopped trying to take it another step further, because there wasn't really a lot of time going on. You know, so I don't think that there was a real issue. I really do agree that it was a non-issue, that people are looking for something. They're looking for any and everything they can do. This is the kitchen sink. We've had a month of the kitchen sink, people, and it's not going to get any better. Do y'all remember 2008? You don't remember 2008? Go on YouTube. Plenty of video for you to look at to remember exactly what's going on. There were several articles. There's a brilliant piece, and I don't use this person and brilliant in the same sentence. Also, Peggy Noonan wrote a brilliant op-ed.
Oh my God.
Ripping, exactly. You weren't thinking I was going to say Peggy Noonan. Peggy Noonan wrote a brilliant op-ed in 2008. I think it was in the New York Times, ripping Hillary Clinton and her campaign over its very racist campaign. A lot of the stuff is going on. There's actually a video of Oprah from February 2008, speaking at, she was either at USC or UCLA, getting on Hillary for not only the use of race, but also her use of gender. It gets, you know, she starts kind of getting on her around about minute 4. So I really think that we need to take everything with a grain of salt. We also, all of us who are supporting Bernie, grassroots movement, we also already know, we've seen it very clearly, the mainstream media, and no, this is not some conspiracy theory, the fact that, what was it, yesterday, within a 16-hour period, the Washington Post produced 16 negative articles, that's one negative article per hour about Bernie Sanders, and, you know, 40% of people don't read past the headlines. There's a concerted effort to try and discredit him. There's a concerted effort to try to dampen our spirits. I know we've all seen it in social media, the supposed supporters who pop up about how worried they are, we should just give up and just vote blue. No, wake up, people. They're not real. They're not about that life. So either they weren't really about that life and they're kind of skittish, or they're trolls and plants trying to break your morale. Either way, we don't got time for it. So I really think when we're looking at all these, they're looking for something for anything. You know, every once in a while people want to throw out that people want Jane to be under investigation for some nonsense that happened whenever. That's not comparable. So I don't know if anyone else wants to get in on this, but like, seriously, I'm over being worried about, oh my God, like, I'm just like, I will say though that I feel like I don't know who exactly is helping or working on the race talk points, but you know, you guys need to have them come and talk to me, Ben, Stacy, Solomon, somebody, please, JP, somebody, like, seriously, because like, there are things that I understand that he misspoke or he stepped in it, but y'all know full well from looking at that man's policy, from looking at that man's history, you are being absolutely disingenuous. Just like that fake Chicago ballot that's been going around talking about Hillary Clinton's the only one on the ballot. Y'all are being disingenuous. You're manipulating facts, and you're trying to get over on the people, and it's just not okay. So we as grassroots, are y'all listening? We as grassroots, we already know the machine is in full effect. We don't have... We have to rage against the machine. We are the movement. You know, be the movement. Correct the fallacies where they stay and keep moving. It is not okay because we just had a tweet, someone respond to a tweet on Twitter a few moments ago about how the brains apparently up north for the voters are better than those down south. Yeah, no, that's not okay. So let's just put this out here. You know what I'm saying? You know, non-black folks, non-folks of color who are trying to help, you know, you're outraged that people, how dare they talk about Bernie. I'm not going to say that there isn't a fair criticism to talk about how maybe the issues of race are being communicated with the campaign. I think that is so, but it's not fatal, as Stacey had to remind me yesterday. It is not fatal at all. It is not that he doesn't get it. They get it. I just think that they need to do better with the delivery in certain concepts and ideas. One thing, yes, that'd be awesome, Christy. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just popping and jumping over here in our chat room. You know, Christy might be bringing on yet another awesome elected official to come join us.